The Dunedin Botanic Gardens collections of plants are mostly, but not entirely, based upon the geographical areas of the world. So, we have American, Australian, Mexican, Asian, South African and New Zealand collections. The latest is the Mediterranean collection. It is to be sited just below the Southern African Garden on a sunny slope facing northwest. The Mediterranean is an outstanding area of biological diversity. It is exceptional not only for this, but also because of its long history of interactions between its human inhabitants and the other flora and fauna of the region. The cradle of many civilizations, the Mediterranean region has been host to humans for thousands of years. The garden provides an introduction to the understanding of the ecology of Mediterranean plants and their habitats as live elements as an appetizer. It is part of our history. Later this can be amplified through other media. From a landscape viewpoint, it is a prime site with commanding views of the Lys Valley, appropriately reminiscent of the classical Roman and Italian gardens of antiquity. The Mediterranean basin, shown here, comprises the lands around and surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea. This in turn is also described as a Mediterranean climate, with mild, rainy winters and hot, dry summers, which supports characteristic Mediterranean forests, woodlands and scrub vegetation. The flora comprises three broad biomes. The woodland shrubland biome in the Mediterranean region typically contains evergreen shrubs such as sage, juniper and myrtle. Woodlands are usually dominated by oak and pine mixed with other coniferous trees. The temperate grassland desert is usually dominated by annual grasses, while the subtropical desert contains scrublands, especially near the seacoast, where wind and salt spray are frequent. Of course, the region is much more diverse than these few pictures suggest. It is the home to 22,000 endemic plant species. The Mediterranean basin has an area of over 2 million square kilometres, of which only 98,000 remain undisturbed. The area for Dunedin's Mediterranean garden is a little over 2,000 square metres. It cannot possibly represent the flora of the region or even only one of the biomes. At best, it can only whet the appetite about the flora of this region. Moreover, it has to be presented in a visually attractive landscape and meet other recreational needs of the people of Dunedin. To do this is quite a challenge, but it is a worthwhile challenge that the staff have proven that they are equal to in the past. The design of the garden takes notice of and is subordinate to the physical landscape, with just a nod to the classical Roman and Italian gardens. Finally, there are a few illustrations to show how the landscape may look. After all, this is a garden, and a garden is for people to enjoy.